death of Europe, and he joins us. This is the real tension in Europe that you write about between poor Europeans who actually bear the brunt of these migration policies.
Yes. Yes, that's right. It's very good to be with you, Mark. It's an amazing story, this, because this story of this single food bank in Essen in West Germany, just they're saying, look, we've got a lot of poor old people here, we've got a lot of women, we've got a lot of people who queue up and just we want to be helping, and these young migrants push ahead of them, and they just said, we want to help the people we're set up to help here. And for this, as you say, they've been called Nazis. The German Chancellor has come and sat on them and insulted them and instructed them to change their food bank policy. And this is absolutely typical of the pattern we see, not just in Germany, but across all of Europe. You know, Merkel invited in millions of people. The continent, unsurprisingly, is finding it difficult to integrate those people or even house them, and she attacks the people, rather than wondering whether or not she might have made a mistake herself.
Now, you use that fine old British word queue for what polite people do when they stand in line, as they say in the United States. I noticed when I was in Europe during the summer that all these migrants appeared, that I don't know whether it is that standing in line or queuing is a Anglo-American continental phenomenon, but on trains and just at kebab houses and all over the place, you saw routinely, the bus station, you saw routinely aggressive young men pushing women out of the way, or even just at the supermarket. And I don't know whether that's because standing in line isn't part of their cultural tradition, or actually whether it's a portent of something rather more sinister.
Well, you know, you have it there. I mean, a young male migrant pushing ahead of an elderly woman in Germany. What's the natural response of the German state? To call the elderly lady a Nazi. Right. You know, say they're the problem. We just had this, by the way, in London, where I'm sitting. Just today, a young man who came illegally to the UK 3 years ago said to the UK officials when they did find him that he had been trained by ISIS, then was allowed to roam around, and a year later, just last September, he left a bomb on the London Underground, which thankfully failed to completely detonate, so we had 30 people with singed hair instead of 30 school children in body bags. But, you know, everyone's onto the same thing. You know, what was it that failed in the specific counter-extremism policy? Right. So, no, if you keep letting people in, you don't know who they are, the authorities keep on inviting people in at the kind of rate they have in recent years, you haven't got a hope.
Well, in Germany, they have this new party, Alternative for Deutschland, the alternative, which everyone says extreme right wing. The problem isn't these nice, young, strapping, young Muslim men. The problem is that it's racist European